Namaskar, my dear friends. Let us continue the coding on Code Composer Studio for C2000 series microcontroller. So we were seeing F280037 SPT, that is 48 pin LQFP package pin. So what we'll do is we'll try to complete, we have already completed LED push buttons, LEDs. Now we'll try to complete push buttons and dip switches pin configuration in our circuit. Okay. So as you can see, this was the circuit in our last session. Okay. So you can take a screenshot of this so that you can have a proper understanding like which pin is connected for what thing. Okay. Or otherwise what we have done is we have like listed out which are the pins associated for what purpose, like DAC pins is pin number 10, 11, 10, 5. User LEDs we already did like 27, 32, 25. Then we have push buttons, we have dip switches, we have ePWMs. So all these things we'll try to put one by one. Okay. So let us open CCS. Now what we are going to do is we are going to see this particular circuit and we are going to complete our user dip switches. Okay. So user dip switches will be what? This will be again a GPIO, but it will be acting as a input. Okay. So our aim is to make this dip switches GPIO as input. Okay. So our aim is pin number 1 and pin number 2, that is GPIO 28 and 29. Okay. So GPIO 28 and 29. So one change I had made in GPIO 0 last time. So what we will do is instead of making this GPIO user LED 0 as input, I'll make this as output. Okay, that's all. So this was done. Now to connect more GPIOs, what we have to do? Come back in the GPIO section, then add it. So we will add two GPIOs, like deep switches. So GPIO 01 is added, then two more push buttons will add 1, 2. Okay, and then we'll configure them properly. So let us say I'm going to name this one as user deep switch 0. So user deep switch 0 is done. Now our aim is to assign the pin for this. So pin is GPIO 28. So this is going to be input, that is done. Then come to pin mux. In pin mux we are going to select GPIO 28. So pin mux, come here down, GPIO 28. So this is done. So my user deep switch 0 is done as input. Come back to this one. What is that? User deep switch 1. Then this is also input, not a problem. This is already input. Then coming back to here, we will be putting it as GPIO 29. So GPIO 29 is done. Then come back to this GPIO, like this one. I am going to put user push button 0, user PB 0. This user PB0 is going to be pin mux here, and then what is the pin for this one? That is GPIO 16, pin number 26. GPIO 16 is here, pin number 26. Understood? This one let me just see, because the pin that we have like assigned for this push button is one of the analog pin. So this will allow or not, that we will see. As you can see, user PB1 is another method or something that we'll see. This one. Okay. So how to assign that? I'll write it user PB1. Then this is going to be input and it is going to be pin selection. So pin selection, see, we have no option here. Okay, because it is going to be GPIO pin. Okay, so if you want, you can connect directly for simplicity one of the GPIO, not a problem. Okay, otherwise here it is analog IO. Okay, so come back here and then add one of the IO, and then my IO, you write here user PB1, and it is going to give you error, not a problem, we'll see that. And then it is going to be input direction, it is going to be this, then connect pin mux. Pin mux, which of the IO you are going to select, that is depending on you. So basically based on the pin we will try to select it. So what is the pin that is connected here? A15. So we'll select A15. So A15 AIO 233 is selected. Okay. Now come back to this GPIO. Understood? What you have to do is, since this user PB1 is connected to one of the analog pin as input, because analog pin also can act as a input pin, GPIO input pin. Okay, so that's the reason, because I was not having pins here, that's the reason I have used there. Okay, so you have to come here, AIO, analog input output, and here you select that and write down whatever you want it. Okay, and select one of the pin. Now come back to your GPIO and remove the error. How to remove the error is, you have to delete this one. So once you delete, see everything is green. Now file, save, and then build the project. So once you build the project, what will happen is, all these like GPIOs will get added. Okay, so the error that it is showing is, what is the error? Expected a like this thing. Okay, let me just see once. I'm not sure, let me just see. All right, so what we see here is, it is actually capital, so I should make it a small. Okay, so while one, it should be like this. Okay, now you save it, save all, and then we build the project again. Build the project again. Like no code is there in the main file, so don't worry about it. Okay, all right, so this system configuration with all this user LED and user push button, dip switches, all these things would have come. So this is my main file where all the like user code will be written, like our application code will be written. However, our aim is to check our generated file. So come back to our generated file. So this is the project that we had, right? Now come to generated file, board.h, and what is the difference that you will see is, now, so see here, we have GPIO pin allocated, user PB1, user LED 0, user LED 1, 2, then dip switches has also come, dip switches 1 and 0, and then this one. Understood? Coming to the other part, like yeah, this GPIO configuration, which pin is connected for what purpose, that is also mentioned here very nicely. Understood? Now coming back to the board.c file, so in board.c all the initialization is done. So you can see you have AIO init added, and this is how set pin configuration and everything. Now why don't we do one thing? We write a simple code in our program. Okay. So come back here, main page. Now let me give this delay, like before the code as well. Like after main, what we'll do is we'll give a delay. Then we want to like turn on LEDs. Let us say turn on LEDs. Okay, so how to turn on LED? We have to write the GPIO like 0 or 1. Okay, so basically to turn on LEDs we have to make it 1. So GPIO right pin. So see, GPIO right pin is coming. What it is taking? It is asking for pin and it is asking for value. Okay, so pin will be one of the LED pin and the value will be 1. Then it will switch on. So you just select that and write down here pin name. How you will find out what is the pin name for your GPIO? So board.h, and you will see this is the define pin. Okay, so you can see user LED 0 is the name of the pin, and if you see what is it, so you can go here and you can see what is it. User LED 0, this is the pin, everything is there. Okay, so don't worry about that. Come to main and write down user LED 0 and then put the value as 1. So our coding is done. Similar to that, let us say we want to give a delay. So delay is, let's say, given 1 second. How many this is microsecond, so this is going to be 10 second, I think. Huh? Oh no, this is 1 second. Okay. So now what I'll do is I will turn off the LEDs. So turn off LED. So what I'll do, you have to write pin as user LED 0, that is pin name, and the value will be 0, and then give a delay. So I'm keeping a like a default delay that is generated by the code. If you want, you can go and see here, delay function is there here. Okay, so this take the microseconds delay. Okay, all right. So this will turn on, then it will have delay, then this will turn off, then again delay, then this will again turn off. So it is key turn on. So it is keep on rotating this way. Okay. Similar to that, now let us build the project and see if it is done, because you must understand that okay, your code is right. Okay. So yes, your code is finished and you can dump the code. How to dump the code? You go to run and flash project. Okay, so if you connect a board, then it will automatically detect it, and then you can flash the project very easily. Or if you want to utilize the software, then what you can do is you can start debugging and you can see the changes in this particular pin happening or not in a watchdog, some some watch window. Okay. So similar to that, you will be able to do by yourself. What you can do, I want to switch on, like LED 1 also. So LED 1, I'll just put it user LED 1, and then I'll turn off that. So user LED 1, I'll turn off. Okay, that's all done. So two LEDs are on, two LEDs are off. You build the project. That's all. If you want to vary the delay, you can vary the delay, not a problem. If you want to design your own delay function, you can write a for loop or something, and you can start with that. Now let me make one change. I will make it LED, let's say 17. Now you build the project. What changes it gives, you see. So build the project and it will give you error. Why? Because user LED 17 is not defined. See, user LED 1 is defined. Come back here. So user LED 1 is defined as pin number 32. But pin number 32 is where? See, user LED 1 is pin number 32. And we had done it in our system config as well. So hope you have now a good understanding of how to write the code and what are the mistakes that you can do by writing like this. Okay. Now one more thing I want to tell you is, come back to this function write pin. So you will see GPIO.h file has opened. Okay. So in this GPIO.h file, this is the write pin function. There will be read pin function. So if you want to explore more functions like how to get these things, all these things, you can come here. Let us say you want to toggle your pin. So GPIO toggle pin. So I will just write GPIO toggle pin and it will give me the result. So what I'll do is, instead of writing 1 or 0, I'll write GPIO toggle. So see, GPIO toggle pin. And then we have to write the pin name. So let us say I will just put LED 2, because we have LED 2. So if LED 2 will be 0, then it will become 1. If LED 2 will be 1, then it will become 0. So this is how it will it's become on or off by writing a single line of code. You don't have to write 1 then 0 then 1 then 0 like that. You don't have to write it. Okay, this should be 0 because we are turning off. In this GPIO.h, you have various other functions as well. How to read the port data, because while pressing the push buttons, you will be having requirement of reading the data. Okay, so that is kind of read. So read port, write port, all these things are there here. So you can do that as well. Understood? So alright guys, hope you have now a good understanding of how to set the project. Okay, and now you build it, not a problem. Now you can build it. Okay, so this is again giving me error. What is the error that you can see? All right. In this particular line of code, GPIO toggle pin, we have not written, like a semicolon. So we just put a semicolon, okay, and then run the project again. I mean, build the project again. Okay, build is finished. So, all right, you have a good understanding like how to write the code, a simple code after your system configuration. So, system configuration also you could do, and then what we'll do is we'll proceed with some communication interfaces next session. Okay, like how to start with CAN, LIN, I2C, like SCI, SPI, all these things we'll try to understand one by one from our circuit. Okay, so this is the circuit that is there for our, like reference, and based on this only we will develop our code. If you have any questions or anything that you are looking for in a specific, you can put down your questions in the comment box and we shall be able to answer you out. Thank you.